Here's how to lower resistance when cold calling. Imagine this scenario for a moment. You're walking in the mall when a kiosk salesperson locks eyes with you and says, "Let me show you something." How do you respond? If you're like most people, you say no thanks and pick up the pace. Why? You don't want them rubbing sea scrub on your hands and selling you soap. So you enter what I call the zone of resistance. The zone of resistance is a reflex reaction to sales pressure. And since pressure is perceived as a threat, it triggers the fight or flight response. It's biological. Why am I talking about this? Prospects feel like this all the time when salespeople cold call them. Whenever they feel the pitch, they enter the zone of resistance. The phrase, "the reason for my call is," tips prospects off that they're about to be pitched. That's the wind up most salespeople use right before they throw the fastball. What's the way out? Shift from pitching to understanding how your prospect is currently getting the job done without having assumptions. No matter what you sell, people are getting the job done without you. Example for warm box. Step one, ask for their permission to talk. Here's what that might sound like. "Hey, Lisa, my name is Josh with Warmbox. I know you weren't expecting my call, but I was on your LinkedIn and was hoping I could ask you a couple of quick questions. Do you got a sec?" Step two, make sure you're talking to the right person. Even though you research them on LinkedIn, sometimes people change jobs. That might sound like this. "Thanks, Lisa. Are you still heading up sales ops?" Step three, understand how your prospect is getting the job done without having an ulterior motive or expectations. Here's what that might sound like. Not sure if you're experiencing this, but in working with over 2,000 inside sales teams, we're seeing that 51% of cold emails land in spam folders. How are you ensuring cold emails don't land in spam today? And then shut your mouth and relax. Don't put forth any effort to try to get people to move forward. Let go of the meeting. Listen. Be curious. You're simply asking a question that shines a light on a potential problem and then giving prospects space to come to their own conclusion rather than you telling them yours. In other words, you're poking the bear. Answers can range from, "Well, our deliverability is 90% to, I'm sorry, what's this about?" Step four, show interest without having an agenda. That might sound like this. If the prospect says, "Our deliverability is 90%, you might say, "Wow, I rarely hear that." If you feel comfortable sharing your secrets, what are you doing to get deliverability that high? If you create an opening and the prospect's talking a little bit about their situation and they're leaning forward, you might say something like this. "Seems like this might be worth exploring, but it looks like I'm all out of questions. Would you be open to investing 20 minutes later this week so you can review what your options are for boosting deliverability rates?" The rest is about diffusing objections. The reality is there's no script for listening. It's less about what you say and more about being present and staying curious without having an agenda. But I hope this example helps you avoid well-worn cold call pitches and open up more conversations with people you want to get in front of. Knowing how to be a better opener is a good skill to master, but it requires you to stop pitching and start listening.